UBI, otherwise known as Universal Basic Income or Ongoing Monthly Checks for Everyone. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, we're going to be discussing UBI, otherwise known as Universal Basic Income, as this is a topic we've seen in the headlines a lot as of recently, and what is the likelihood of this type of program showing up right here in the United States, especially with everything going on and the changing of the economy, and how many people are suggesting ongoing monthly checks is the future here in this country. Let's get into it and discuss what's going on. However, really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, watching the latest details hitting the wire, doing the research and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay posted on what's actually going on and how it may impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course anything you can possibly grab and or take advantage of. So again, thanks so much for joining me. I'm here for you every single day, no matter what. That's my promise, and I'm sticking to it. So please make sure to subscribe down below. Let's get into it and talk about UBI, Universal Basic Income, ongoing monthly checks for everyone, and what is the likelihood of something like this actually starting here in the United States, even though we've heard a lot of talk out of very influential people and, believe it or not, lawmakers to establish nationwide programs to start sending out ongoing monthly checks for virtually everyone. However, there's a major difference between UBI, Universal Basic Income, and GBI, Guaranteed Basic Income. They sound very similar, right? But no, there are major differences here, which again, I will talk about that here in just a second. But let's quickly talk about UBI. What exactly is this? Now again, this is a concept that as of about 3 or 4 years ago, virtually nobody had ever heard about it. Well then, over the last few years here, we've been talking about it, we've been seeing it in the headlines, it's been popping up a ton, and I would say over the last year or so, we've seen this a lot lately, and we've heard some very influential people suggesting here in the United States it is inevitable that there will be some type of UBI or GBI program. In other words, ongoing monthly checks for virtually everybody or a large portion of the population. Why? Why would we transition into that? And what is the need for this? And what is actually causing this to actually happen? Great questions. Let's talk through it. So basically what a UBI program is, literally sending out ongoing monthly checks, everybody, regardless of income, regardless of all parameters. Literally, if you have a social security number, if you're, there, if you're present, basically you get a check. That's basically what a UBI program comes down to. It has nothing to do with location, has nothing to do with age, nothing. Literally, if you're there, you get a check, okay? Again, most of the time, like over the last few years here, we've talked about stimulus checks, we've talked about the advanced child tax credit payments, we've talked about all kinds of different checks that have gone out. All of them have been tied to income and other parameters. The difference between a UBI program and some of these other programs is UBI literally has nothing to do with income. It's literally just an ongoing monthly check. Every single person. If you're living, if you're breathing, if you're blinking, you get a check. You know what I mean? That is what it comes down to, okay? Just being real with you. However, now let's compare that really quickly to a Guaranteed Basic Income program, a GBI, Guaranteed Basic Income, or for short, some people just call it a basic income program. What is the difference here? Well, this type of program is the same concept. Ongoing monthly checks, not for everybody, but for a lot of people. Now, this one is generally highly focused on a certain group of people, or it is identified by a income level, okay? Let me give you a really quick example. Now again, this is a perfect example of a Guaranteed Basic Income program. Remember in the second half of 2021, ongoing monthly checks went out to about 38 million households all across the country for the advanced child tax credit payments. Do you remember that? Literally every single month for 6 months straight, July through December of 2021, about 38 million households were getting ongoing monthly checks every single month if your income was below a certain threshold, okay? That is a perfect example of a Guaranteed Basic Income program, okay? All right, now, we have a basic understanding of both of these, UBI and GBI, Universal Basic Income, Guaranteed Basic Income, whatever we want to call it. They're very similar, but at the end of the day, Universal basic income goes out to everybody. Guaranteed basic income goes out to a specified group or somebody falling within a certain income threshold, okay? These are the differences between these two programs. Now, let's quickly talk about fast here why all of these people out there are suggesting it is inevitable that there will be some type of monthly ongoing check program here in the United States. Is it going to look like a UBI or a GBI type program? Who would be involved, and why is this actually happening? All right, great questions, because this is kind of the reality of what's happening here. Now, obviously, is this going to be happening tomorrow? No. Is it going to happen next week? Nope. Is it going to happen this year? Well, that's anybody's guess at this point. I would have to say probably not this year, which, by the way, recording this video in 2023, who knows? Maybe you're watching this video in 2024, 2025. Maybe you're watching this in 2033. Who knows, right? It's a long time from right now. I'm just simply saying, right now in 2023, highly unlikely it's going to happen this year. However, at some point in the relatively near future, yeah, probably. So let's talk through what is actually going on here. There's a whole variety of different things that are going on. So a lot of it comes down to the labor participation rate and other factors like AI, artificial intelligence, in other words, robots. Right? So there's a lot of different things that are going on, especially with a lot of these chat bots that have been coming up as of recently. There's already predictions out there that these chat bots alone are going to replace about 2/3 of the workforce in some industries. So that simply means that about 2/3 of the people in certain industries will likely be losing their jobs because of robots or chat bots, right? Taking over and basically doing all of their work for them, because humans, it takes, a long time to type things in. With a chatbot, you literally just type into a little box exactly what you want, and 3 seconds later, you've got literally everything you wanted in like a minute or two. Seriously, it's like instant. It's like scary fast, right? So this is what's going on here. And these things are taking over a lot of industries, and it's only going to get worse as they get more smarter and as they get more sophisticated. So again, we're still relatively early on in these things, and these things are getting wicked smart very, very fast. So it's very interesting to see this whole thing play out. Anyway, as a result of this, we've heard from many highly influential people that it is inevitable here in the United States, because not only is AI and artificial intelligence and robots taking over a lot of these sectors, and a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs, but as a result of that, the labor participation rate, as in the number of people aged 16 and older, well, basically it's not 16 and older, it's 16 to 65 is where the labor participation rate actually sits. But like 62.3% of the population between these age ranges are working. That means that, what is that, 37.7% of the population between 16 and 65 are not working. Well, what does that mean going forward? It simply means that, there's not that much availability of work for the individuals that actually need the work that's out there. So, as a result of this, well, we have an economy that still needs to thrive, and if nobody's working, or a very small percentage of the population is working, and another portion of the economy is being taken over by robots, well then guess what? People need something to fall back on. And again, that's exactly what people are suggesting, is that ongoing monthly checks, universal basic income, guaranteed basic income, something like this would need to be instituted. Now, let's quickly talk about what is the likelihood of a UBI or GBI program, and which one of these would actually prevail. Here's what it comes down to. I've talked about this before in other videos. Even though universal basic income is a great concept, an ongoing monthly check for everybody, I don't foresee that happening. Here's why. It's unrealistic. Not everybody needs a check unless the economy is going down and it's in a really, really, really bad place. Then maybe we might see some kind of UBI program. But unless we see that, and again, I highly doubt that even to be the case. We would have to see the economy in a very, very deep, dark place in order for something like that to happen. But in other words, when it comes down to a guaranteed basic income or just a basic income program, I've been saying this for a while now, a couple of years in fact, I think it is inevitable. At some point, it is pretty much guaranteed. Again, obviously, there's nothing guaranteed, but I would say there is a very, very, very high likelihood of a guaranteed basic income program or basic income program on a nationwide level here in this country. In fact, we know that there is the legislation out there right now called the Support Act, which would do exactly that. $1,200 ongoing monthly checks. every single month for 5 years for virtually everybody who is low income, $75,000 or less of income as an individual, or $150,000 a year or less as a married couple. So we know that it is out there. They're already laying the groundwork for this. Not only that, there's over 100 different guaranteed basic income programs currently in play right here, right now, across the entire country, sending out ongoing monthly checks for a lot of people who are low income. Again, little pilot programs demonstrating, hey, it's possible for us to send out ongoing monthly checks, and the people that receive them are actually way better off financially and in a variety of other ways as well. We've seen it from the reports. So, long story short, even though universal basic income is a great concept, sending out ongoing monthly checks to everybody, it's simply just not that feasible. Not right now anyway, as far as everybody getting a check. But as far as a guaranteed basic income program, yeah, absolutely, 100%. I do believe that at some point here in this country, at some point we will see a nationwide guaranteed basic income program. Now again, could that be in 3 years? It could be. Could it be in 5 years? It could be. Could it be in 7 or 10 years? It could be. I don't know when it would happen, but that's just the trajectory that we're moving to right now, especially with the speed of everything that's happening right now. Things are happening very, very fast, okay? So it's very interesting to watch all this whole thing play out. And again, it's going to be interesting to see how all of this impacts the economy, and not only that, the workforce here in this country as well, right? The people that are working out there doing the 9 to 5, things like that, and all of a sudden they realize, hey, I just got replaced by a robot. Now what, right? Well, yeah, great question. That's what a lot of people are wondering. That's what a lot of more people are going to be wondering too as well over the coming years, over the coming, I should say, months and the next couple of years. It's going to change dramatically. Anyway, I thought this was super interesting stuff. I've seen UBI in the headlines a number of times. A lot of people out there are talking about it. Like I said, cool concept, not feasible, not in my opinion anyway, as of right now. But guaranteed basic income, that's a totally different story. Yeah, absolutely. That is something we for sure will see. Anyway, hope this one helps you. Again, I know it's kind of interesting, kind of confusing to keep these couples straight and what's actually going on here and the logic behind all of this, but I want to break it down for you really quickly in this short video. Hope this one helps you. Again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day, take care, and I'll catch you again later.